Dongwon saying, could you ever have an idea for a novel? And then me going and staring at a notebook for like several hours and going, come up with an idea, come up with an idea, come up with an idea. Um, in a lot of ways, I was writing what I had a lot of affection for. You know, magical school stories, for better or worse, shaped my generation's understanding of story and literature, from a lot of different directions. And I said to myself, what do I have to say about a magical school story that hasn't been said? And the answer to me was to discuss the reality of school and of adolescence, and to view that through the eyes of someone who never had access to the magical, wonderful, fantastical experiences that are promised in so many of those narratives. There's like sort of, I think, a spectrum between homage and critique, and people can read my work as being on either end of that spectrum for themselves. For me, I see it as being all the entire spectrum all at once, very much in conversation. In the school that I wrote in this book, the Osthorn Academy for Young Mages, it took me forever to come up with that freaking name. I wanted to reflect something that I have never seen reflected in a magical school narrative, which is the reality of a school. It is defined and shaped by the children who inhabit it. This school is for high school age kids, and teenagers are constantly in the process of defining the world around them. They have so little control over their lives, but they still find ways to shape their environments every second of every day through graffiti, through art, through even just like the kind of soft animism of inhabitation of a liminal space, like a high school that's not meant to be inhabited, but that is very much inhabited. And I wanted to bring that feel to it. I wanted to really show the way that no matter how fancy a school is, no matter how well funded it is, no matter how special and important the people in it are, it really still is in the hands of the teens who make it their own. And beyond that, you know, I wanted to focus a bit on the way that the drama of a magical school isn't going to be that different from the drama of a non-magical school, because kids are kids, teachers are teachers, people are people, and whether you're teaching tradecraft or spellcraft, you're going to be seeing a lot of the same themes of interpersonal development and growth and conflict. Um, I hope I did. I think I did it. I think I did that. I think I managed to bring that groundedness to it. I'd never done anything like it before. I jumped in and I was totally overwhelmed. I was terrified. Um, and I picked these very messy characters. I mean, Ivy and Tabitha are twin sisters. They are estranged. They are deeply insecure. Tabitha's profoundly ambitious. Ivy is profoundly stunted. And I was writing this book where I was really determined to honestly show the sort of entrenched internal turmoil of people who feel that they haven't gotten what they deserved, or who feel that they don't deserve anything, and that's why they didn't get anything. And it turned out to be so amazing. It turned out to be like challenging, but also very healing. I grew so much as a person through the process of confronting the realities of these people and seeing the ways that my own reality, my own self, my own psyche was reflected in them. It scared the shit out of me, but I loved it. Just like Holmes, this is the third book on that contract. And this one came from an interaction I had with my now partner, where I'm notoriously unable to finish an episode of television without falling asleep. I am a very sleepy guy, and TV starts playing and the lights go out. And I've fallen asleep on my partner's shoulder. And she was watching a TV show and she finished watching it. And then I snapped up and I looked her in the eyes and I said, under the bed is the scariest place in the house. And then I fell back asleep. I have no recollection of this. She told me about it 20 minutes later. I woke up and she said, hey, what the hell was that? And I got really stuck on this notion because I think it's true. I think under the bed is the scariest place in the house. The bed is our locus of refuge. It's the place where we are our most true selves, where we're the most animal. It's where we go when we're sick. It's where we go to be intimate. It's where we go to rest. It's where we go to be very physically vulnerable. And then we're very afraid of the thing that we can't see in those moments, of the thing that might be close to us without us knowing it. And the book grew from that. The book grew from that idea of this young woman becoming obsessed with the idea that there's something beneath her childhood bed. And of course, the scariest things are the things that are real, right? So then I thought, what was underneath her childhood bed? Well, what if the mirror of her bed is exactly like what's up above it, right? There's something that she feels safe with, something that she feels she can be vulnerable near, something that she feels absolutely comfortable with, but also that something, which is her father, is very frightening and very dangerous. And it kind of the book kind of grew around that. It sort of calcified around that image of the bed. And The House Guest was one of these later editions where, it's a very insular book. It mostly takes place in one house. It mostly takes place with this one family. He was a later edition, which I think is visible at some points. There's a few places where it's like, oh, this guy got kind of slid in here. But this book changed so much over the course of writing it. The first revision that I did involved swapping everything that was bad and scary in the first draft to make it good and appealing in the second draft, and everything that was good and appealing in the first draft to be scary and repulsive. And then I removed a character. There was a character who was supposed to be present throughout the entire book who got taken out, and I put another character in. Some deaths got moved from the beginning of the book to the end and back again. My editor, Miriam Weinberg at Tor, who is a super genius, we were talking about it, and she pointed out that we were missing any outside perspective. We were missing any lens from the exterior to snap the reader into that feeling of understanding how bad things actually are. Kind of like when you leave your house for a while and then you come back in and you become aware of the smell of your house. We needed that. And we needed something outside of the family for Vera, the main character, to be attentive to and in tension with. And so that's where this character came in. And he's one of my favorite characters I've ever written. He is detestable and loathsome. And I usually write characters with a lot of complexity and a lot of sympathy and nuance. And he has those things, but like not as much. Well, I can share, I recently had my second original comic series, Know Your Station, come out, and the collection of that, the collected version, will be out later this year. Also at the end of this month, May, the paperback edition of Just Like Home will be coming out. I write Buffy comics for Boom Studios. I'm coming to the end of my run. I got to do 16 issues, and it has been such a blast. And I believe issue 14 came out, as we're recording this, came out yesterday. And so there's 2 left.